Hey everyone, it's Julian, and we are here on day 2 of reveals for Shadowverse Worlds Beyond's third set, and we have some really interesting cards to talk about today. I would say they're more interesting than the first days, as we're seeing some of these new archetypes start to fill out. So let's get into it. We have a sword card, and then a couple, a Haven card, and then a lot of Abyss cards here. So let's get right into it. So first we have the sword card, Flash Blade of Retribution. 1 play point gold Swordcraft spell. Of course, that is Octress on the art. She is the original Sword Omen. Fusion loot cards. So of course the loot cards we revealed yesterday. They're the 4 tokens you can get from different cards. And the legendary we saw already fuses with tokens. So having another card that fuses with the tokens that you need to fuse him into, since he's sort of the win condition a little bit, right, is interesting, right? So we're going to need this card to do a lot for us. It doesn't do a lot. Well, deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower, and then put a Gilded Blade into your hand. And then if you fused to this card, draw a card. So basically, this card is going to allow you to turn your Gilded Blades and your Gilded cards, your loot cards, into a little bit of card draw. My main issue with this card, though, is it's 2 damage randomly. I really do not understand why there's an increase of random damage right now. This is not a card that needs to be random. I think this would be completely fine if it said targeted 2 damage. If it was 3 damage, I could see where we could start to have, discussions about that. My opinion on the random damage stuff is, I just wish it was like, if they think this card is too good, if it's targeted, either don't make the card or make the damage less, right? And I just think 1 mana for 2 damage is a very normal damage line, removal line. In the original game, and in this game, right, Wind Blast starts at 2 now for Rune, and obviously that is more of the spell class, so you don't want every class to have like really insane spells, but this card just doing 2 randomly is so weird and like so unnecessary. And then of course you get the Gilded Blade, so you can do 1 damage to the face or to a follower, hopefully the follower you pinged, but of course that ends up being 2 mana for 3 damage. So really don't like that. You're really gonna need to draw a card with this card. But even then, I don't think this is like amazing. Now, back in the day, and I say back in the day, but this is like late game Shadowverse 1. This card could have had like a loot trait. Like if this card is loot traded, which it's not, I could see, okay, I'm with you in terms of like, okay, you can fuse itself into things, and then this into the legendary, and he can go to 5 keywords, right? Or 5 unique cards. But overall, I think this is a really weak card, and of course, I think I'm in the minority in thinking that the sword legendary is a little weak right now too. So I don't know. Sword's just in a really good spot, and the cards need to be broken to really like usurp even some spots in Sword. So I think this card and the Ledger are not cutting it right now, but we'll see. I do expect Octress to be pretty good. But yeah, so that is the Sword card. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I could totally be wrong about this once we see all of the support, but right now I'm not feeling this card. I really don't like the random aspect, and yeah. Next we have Himeka, Heir of Repose. So this is going to be the Haven Legendary New Omen. She's a 6-drop 0/4, so very unique stat line. Fanfare, gain her crest, the Himeka crest. And then on Super Evolve, she's going to set all enemy followers' attack to 4. So what's the crest? The crest is the big thing for this card. It's going to be countdown 4 at the end of your turn. If an allied Himeka Heir of Repose is on the field, randomly choose X enemy followers with 4 attack or less, give them can't attack followers or leaders, and at the end of your turn, banish this. X is the number of crests you have. So it's a little bit like Urius. Obviously, this comes down way earlier, but you don't get the damage and the ping. But yeah, this card is really bizarre to me. This is such a kind of unique design for Shadowverse that I don't want to be too hasty in saying if it's going to be good or bad. I'm leaning more towards when I see something gimmicky like this and it doesn't say storm or deal face damage, I always lean towards it's bad. Obviously, if you play a deck where you can get 5 crests, which we've already seen that you probably can in a deck like this, in a Haven deck that you're designing to get to 10 crests, right? Or 5 crests. This card is going to basically Super Evo and clear a board. My issue, though, is that it's just really awkward, right? It's like she has to live, and you basically have to get to 5 crests before this thing is good. Because if you leave something alive, like if they have a full board and you leave something alive, it's really bad. You basically need to answer their full board with this Super Evo. And I also don't really like that she... you kind of have to Super Evo her, right? Once we get to turn 6, we're looking at a lot of non-4 attack things, right? So I don't know. I'm not into this card. Obviously, we do have to think about the fact that Marwyn was revealed yesterday, right? This was the other Omen. He, of course, gives you a crest and deals damage equal to the amount of crests you have. So you really want to be getting a bunch of crests. And the ideal thing, right, is you get to 5 crests, and then you can go Himeka, and then you go like lock all your thing or all of your opponent's things because you have 5 crests. Then the next turn you go pass, or they pass, all of their things banished. They have an empty board. Then you have Himeka on the board as well. You don't attack with Himeka, you do whatever else, right? You set up some amulets or whatever. Pass, and then you deal, 5 damage to the face? But then at that point, they can come back, Evo, kill Himeka, and you have to have another Himeka. So I really don't like that you have to have Himeka for this crest to be activated, right? Now, maybe we get some sort of cards that either tutor Himeka, or maybe get, like, copies of Himeka or something like that. But without it, I'm not in love with this card. I think it's just a little too gimmicky. And again, it's a control card. I wouldn't even say win condition, but it's a control card, but not in the best control class, which is Rune, right? All control decks fold to Kakaida's D-Shift. And until we do something about that, a lot of these other class control decks are not going to be that good. Also, another thing I wanted to mention is Marwyn's token card actually got changed. I guess it was mistranslated. It actually delays the count of all your crests by 1 instead of advancing them, right? So when we first saw this, it was like, hey, Seraph, you can get a turn earlier, something like that, right? But in actuality, you're supposed to try to keep all your crests alive, which is kind of interesting, but... another interesting thing you do with is the Benison, the heal 10, and then at the after 2 turns you deal 10 to your leader. You can make that crest go up, so you can kind of like delay the 10 damage, which is kind of interesting. But obviously this is on a token card, right? So if we see more effects like this, it'd be kind of interesting. But overall, it's like meh. Then we have the big one. I think this is really cool card, really unique card that we're about to talk about, Rulenye and Valnerik. But before we do talk about this, I do just want to say there's going to be slight, maybe, short rant, but I am really disliking the path they're taking for Abyss. They are not doing the merge very well. We saw with Ginsetsu and Yuzuki, 2 characters that are not related to each other at all, be combined into one duo unit. Didn't really like that, but it's like, okay, whatever. You're just, you want to get all the Ultimate Coliseum characters in, or, not even Ultimate Coliseum characters, but the Omen, like Omen of Storms, like, characters in. I get it, right? Okay, cool. But now we get to set 3, and we know we're doing omens. And in my head, I was like, okay, we're going to get Rulenye and Valnerik by themselves. So either we get 3 legendaries and we get like Vampy or something, or we only get 2 legendaries and those are the 2, right? But instead we get 2 legendaries and a new character, so they're relegated to a duo unit. I honestly would have rather they just be one's a gold. Make Rulenye gold, right? Because they're just they're in the same like group, but they're not related. Like they're very different characters and very different card designs. So I was a little frustrated with that. I think Aggro Abyss is really going to suffer from this because we were really hoping that Valnerik would kind of save us with the ping damage, right? Because we have so many things, especially on Aggro Abyss, that self-damage us, and Valnerik was the payoff for that. Her and Dark Feast Bat. But yeah, I don't know. Very disappointed in the decision with Abyss to just merge the class and not do it, well, in my opinion. But Rulenye and Valnerik, very cool card. So we're going to set that aside. Now we're going to talk about this really interesting, cool card that there's a lot to talk about. So they are a 7-mana 5/5, and then on play, they're going to select a mode. You add a Scream Diffusion or Wings of Desire to your hand. Scream Diffusion is a 0-cost spell that's going to summon 2 copies of Rulenye and Valnerik and give them Rush. So pretty cool card that you can... obviously, most of the time, you're probably going to have to play this on the turn, but you can kind of delay it for later turns if you're able to get away with going Rulenye, Valnerik, and like Super Evoing and killing one thing and then passing, and keeping this card in your hand to be able to like go Rulenye, Valnerik, and do some other crazy stuff, clear the board and stuff like that, right? Really like this. Then the second token is the Wings of Desire. Select an allied Rulenye and Valnerik on the field and give it Storm. I would say this is the one that's weaker in my opinion. Obviously 5 Storm damage is good. Even like, if you Super Evolve, it's 8. But summoning copies of the followers is really strong. And I wish this would have said, I don't know, like I wish this would have said like, heal you for the amount of times you've dealt damage this turn or something. Just something to say, hey, Valnerik used to be self-damage. But, Rulenye kind of got to keep his gimmick, but Valnerik did not at all. But overall, of course, this is a choose card, so we have to think about Yamcha, that was revealed yesterday, right? Sham Nacha. And she is, once you get to 10 mode cards played or mode... how is it worded? Like, whenever you select a mode, you want to select 10 modes, right? And then once you select 10 modes and you play her down, obviously a pretty hard quest to complete, but once you do, Rulenye Valnerik is going to come down and give you both cards, which is really, really nuts. So I really like this card. I think they did a really great job designing this card to be 7 mana, which is kind of a interesting turn for Abyss. Obviously, they have Medusa and they have Olivia, but both of those cards are like kind of reactive. Olivia, is that middle ground of like healing and draw, right? But this is a very proactive. You're able to clear your opponent's board and make a really giant board, or go storm damage face, and you could just choose depending on the situation. And of course, once you get to the Yamcha ability, you're going to be able to play this and get both effects, which is really cool. So yeah, I think this choose deck is coming together pretty quickly, actually. I think this is a really good addition. We already have Yuzuki and Gensetsu, of course, and we're going to have this. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for this, actually. So there's that. And then we have 3 Abyss cards to talk about. March of Atrocity, 4-drop, deal 2 damage to 2 random enemy followers and the enemy leader. Obviously, this is like unplayable garbage. This is just like take 2 fodder. And yeah, I don't want to go on another rant, but the 76 cards deck, or sorry, 40, what the fuck? 76, I don't know where I'm getting 40. 76 card set is really rough, in my opinion. And we still are getting these unplayable cards. So really don't like this. it is very late, I'm sure, as you can tell. It's almost 5 o'clock. But then we get a really interesting card, Affirmer of Entwining. 3-drop 1/1 on play, Abyss again. On play, select the mode. So again, we really need to see all those mode cards to get Sham Nacha up. The modes are deal 1 damage to all enemy followers or gain +2/+2. So of course, then on Evolve, she's going to replicate the effects of this card's Fanfare ability. So it's more like, it's kind of like a flexible Apollo, right? And Apollo already saw play a little bit this set. I didn't see as much play this set compared to first set, right? The first set, it was all over the place. But it is a mode card, right? So you're going to be able to increase the mode there. If you evolve, you're going to be able to increase the mode twice, right? And so if you look at it as the Apollo effect, it's just a 1 stat less Apollo, 1 health less Apollo, but you get the modes. And then the other thing is the +2/+2. I think this is going to be really niche. I could see a situation where it's like, okay, I need to deal 1 damage AoE and then become a 5/5 on Evolve. It's pretty interesting. But Evoing and becoming a 7/7 is not going to be that good. But of course, when you get to the late game, if you have an Evo still, this becoming basically a 7/7 deal 2 damage AoE if you Evo, right, is pretty interesting, actually. So I do really like this card. I think it's a solid, game plan player, a piece to the puzzle, right, that is this choose deck or this mode deck. But yeah, pretty good. Then we're going to talk about a really good card. This card is really good and really makes me confident that this mode deck is going to be good. And that is the Entwining Castle. 2-drop Amulet for Abyss again. Select the mode to activate. 1, draw card. Right? We're going to talk about this part first, right? Abyss's issue has been card draw. So having an early game card that draws us a card, really awesome. I really like that. The second effect is going to give... Oh, it's random. Why are we doing... I really, really do not understand why we're doing random so often. I didn't even realize that this is random allied follower on the field +1/+1. I just don't understand. I don't understand why we're doing that. But it's okay. We're always going to be drawing from this card no matter what. Before it was like, okay, it's kind of a niche effect where we can go, hey, play this, draw a card, and then later game, if we need to buff something for that 1 extra damage storm, we got it. But the fact that it's random, you're just never gonna do it, really. And of course, engage, you pay 1 mana for this, and you can do the effect again, and you're going to draw another card. So overall, it's going to be 3 play points, draw 2 cards. So again, that is the same amount as the Seraphic Tidings, but we're playing to our game plan, and we have that interesting sort of synergy with the mode card. So overall, really like the direction the mode deck is going. I'm very excited for them. I think these Abyss cards have been really good. The Entwining Castle and, of course, the Rulenye and Valnerik. I really like this art. Again, I was, being a Debbie Downer about the fact that it's a duo unit, but I do really like the art. And yeah, just really great design card-wise. And I think they did a really good job here. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Obviously, this was kind of a late video, but we're trying to get these out the minute all of these cards release in Japan. Every day we have a week of this, right? It's going to be very similar to what we did in set 2. So if you are wanting to see some reveals, basically the minute they happen, stick around for the channel. And also join the Discord. We have a very bumpin' Discord where we're talking about these new cards a lot. And yeah, that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.